We are La Force. We are Minnesota.
A high blast to deep right center field. Mauer will glide into second base. Headed towards the gap, and he'll go into second with a double. And the hometown kid reaches his milestone at home.
Number 2,000.
Tonight, the opener of a three-game series with the Indians and the Twins. Welcome back Joe Mauer. 4 weeks he was gone. The Twins lineup suffered because of it, and he'll be back in the lineup and back in the leadoff spot here in the opener. We welcome you to Cleveland from Progressive Field, the opener between the Twins and the Cleveland Indians. First game the Twins have played in Cleveland this year, and we're here in Cleveland. Dick Bramer along with Jack Morris as the Twins open up what is a more important series than it should be in the middle of June, given the distance between the Indians and the Twins, and a lot of roster fluidity over the last couple of days for the Twins. The Twins get a fixture in the lineup, but also lose Miguel Sano.
Well, it's good to see Joe Mauer back. We need his professional at-bats. Maybe he'll even have Corey Kluber a little nervous and draw a walk. You never know. But Joe Mauer, Paul Mauer talks about him all the time. He gives them professional at-bats. By that, he means he's never going to give in. He doesn't give up, and he gets deep into counts, and that's what you want out of every hitter. Good to see him back in the lineup. Of course, that created a roster move that had to be made, and Miguel Sano is the guy that they need to mate it with. This guy needs to go back down to the minor leagues and try to get his act together, figure out what it is that he needs to do so that he can start producing the way the Twins expected him to.
You saw the difference the Twins lineup the last year and a half with Mauer in the lineup, a half run per game. And the Twins lineup definitely needs a shot in the arm, a little more production. And they'll take all the help they can get tonight, because Corey Kluber, the best in the American League, will face Kyle Gibson in the opener. CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world.
by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today.
It is a beautiful Friday night in Cleveland. First game the Twins have played here against the Indians. They won the series in Minnesota. Tough task for both lineups tonight. Kyle Gibson's pitched awfully well for the Twins this year, yet he has just the one win. Corey Kluber is leading the American League with 10 wins. And welcome once again to Progressive Field. It should be a good pitching matchup tonight because, as we said, both starting pitchers have really done well this year.
They really have. Kluber's on a Cy Young Award-winning type of role this year, but Kyle Gibson can't be overlooked. Even though that record does not indicate a lot of wins, he deserves a lot more than that. He's been getting deep into games. His ERA has come down to a very respectable under 3.5, and you know, he's given the team a chance to win almost every one of his outings. So hopefully tonight Kluber and Gibson will pitch good games. We'll have a real pitcher's duel, and of course it'll be decided by the bullpen.
Well, not much margin for error for Gibson tonight because you can expect Corey Kluber to come up with another good one tonight.
He's got all the reasons to. He's on some kind of roll right now. You see his record in his last 5 starts. Hasn't lost, and he's been deep into every single one of these games without a walk. He's going to challenge you. He's got a great breaking ball, but more than that, he knows how to pitch, and he can feel what the hitter's trying to do and pitch accordingly.
Runs have been exceedingly hard to come by for the Twins. We'll see if they can break out tonight against the best in the American League. But there's a little bit of a carryover effect too, I think, to the other hitters in the lineup. I know Paul Molitor really is glad to have Joe back in the lineup. Twins won 3 out of 4 in Minnesota. They split the 2 games in Puerto Rico. Let's check out the Twins batting order. And Joe Mauer has taken over in the leadoff spot. Eddie Rosario batting second, then Eduardo Escobar, Logan Morrison, Brian Dozier dropping down to 5th in the lineup. Max Kepler, Mitch Garver, A-Ray Adrianza, and Ryan Lamar.
Tonight's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture, and we got Corey Kluber on the mound, American League's winningest pitcher right now, making his 15th start of the season. He tossed 8 innings as the last outing against Detroit and won that game, which is his 10th of the year. He's got it all working right now. It's fun to see a guy really in the apex of his career, and that's where Kluber is right now.
Indians out in the field. Welcome back a couple of outfielders who were not in Minnesota a couple of weeks ago. Tyler Naquin is in center field. Lonnie Chisenhall's in right. Michael Brantley is in left. And a really good infield, at least the left side. Ramirez and Lindor about as good as they come. Kipnis at second. Eric Gonzalez at first, with Yonder Alonso on the family emergency list, and Young Gomes behind the plate. Sam Holbrook calling balls and strikes. Jim Wolf at first. DJ Rayburn and Ryan Blackney. There are so many numbers about Kluber that would impress you. To me, one of the most impressive, he has given up 3 or fewer runs in 26 straight starts. And that's a long enough string to where you got to believe, at least on the Twin side of things, it'll be a low-scoring ball game. That's while he's been on the mound. Now, if you can get into the Cleveland bullpen early, that's another matter. No walks allowed in 168 plate appearances.
Well, therein lies the issue. You either get him in the first inning or 2, or you don't. He's going to get his 100 pitches at some point, and it's usually around 7, 8, or 9 innings.
1-1 to Mauer, one of the few Twins hitters who's had any success against Kluber, hitting .314 against him. Couple of home runs against Kluber. Tap to the right side, and Gonzalez flips to Kluber, 1 away.
And let's talk about the Peach Wrench for the wind. Kyle Gibson on the mound, and we talked about in the open here that Kyle Gibson has pitched very well himself, but he's going to have to match Corey Kluber. You saw Kluber right there throw a great sinking fastball. That wasn't the slider, that was a sinker. Joe Mauer just topped it to first base. That's the kind of stuff that Kyle Gibson's going to have to match. If Kluber throws up zeros, he's going to have to throw up zeros and hope that his team scores first.
Eddie Rosario batting second. When Mauer was active last, there's a ball blasted to right center field. That is back and gone. A home run. Rosario tees off on the first pitch. Number 15 for Eddie Rosario, and it's 1-0 Twins.
Well, those are the kind of things that don't surprise me. I know it might surprise a lot of people. Eddie Rosario's been red hot. And is he going to get a fastball, a first pitch fastball that he might be able to tee off on? He's not going to get cheated with his swings. That's exactly what Kluber does. He tries to throw that first pitch for a strike, throws it right in the wheelhouse of Eddie Rosario, and Eddie didn't miss it. And that, it's good on both parts. Kluber probably a little bit shocked, but he understands how hot Rosario is.
13th home run allowed by Kluber, and so of course Escobar gets a breaking ball down and in, and a swing and a miss. Started to say that when Mauer was active last, he hit leadoff and Dozier hit second, but Paul Molitor wanted to spread his left-handers out a little bit, and that's why he had Rosario sliding up into the 2 spot, Morrison hitting 4th, the switch hitter Escobar hitting between them, and then the right-handed hitting Dozier 5th. Kepler hitting left-handed 6th, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So far, it's worked out pretty well.
Well, when you're facing a guy like Kluber, you're going to try every angle you can, try to mix it up. The Twins haven't been producing runs. Everybody knows that. And Paul Molitor just trying to find a fit that might work against this guy.
Just outside 1 and 2. Twins have produced runs lately in the first inning, but the problem has been after the first inning. Didn't score in games Detroit. 2 and 3. After scoring in the first inning in the last 2 games.
Nope.
2 and 2. You know, it's not much. It's not like the Twins have put up a 4 spot in the first inning, but a run, a couple of runs in Detroit the last 2 games, and 1 so far here tonight. 2 and 2 to Escobar. Swing and a miss. Strikeout, a foul tip. And Gomes hangs on 2 away.
Now, former Twin manager, Angel manager Gene Mock believed that he played the game to score the first run. He thought there was so much importance to having a lead to work with, and for a while there, it seemed like the Twins were always trailing, and then they go to Detroit and they get a couple early runs and only get a win out of one of them.
Here is Morrison hitting cleanup, hitting just 187.
It's one thing you'll see out of Kluber. He's not afraid to make guys move their feet. And in order to get that backdoor slider, Paul Molitor kind of compared to Greg Maddux a little bit today. The balls that start outside end up in the strike zone. The balls that start in the strike zone end outside.
To short right field, but they're waiting for it is Kipnis, and the inning ends. Eddie Rosario pounds his 15th home run of the year to put the Twins up early. Twins do what they did in the last two games in Detroit. They strike early. Henry Francona, the division champion last year. Year before that, they lost a heartbreaking World Series to the Cubs. And here's the Indians batting order. Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley, Jose Ramirez, Edwin Encarnacion, Jason Kipnis, Yan Gomes, Lonnie Chisenhall, Tyler Naquin, and then Eric Gonzalez. And there's a strike at the knees to Francisco Lindor. Ground ball backhanded by Dozier. He pops up, throws to first, and Lindor's gone on 2 pitches.
And tonight's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. Kyle Gibson, he's making his 14th start of the year. He suffered a loss in his last outing, going 7 innings and striking out 5 to the Angels. Gibby's been really good. He's had some tough luck with wins. He's making his 15th career start against the Indians, where he hasn't done that well. 2-6 with a 5.60 ERA lifetime. So got a run to work with. Hold him there, Gibby.
Here's Michael Brantley. In his start earlier this year against the Indians at Target Field earlier this month, for that fact, on June 3rd, he had 4 perfect innings. And then Edwin Encarnacion hit a home run in the 5th, then he ran into some trouble in the 6th, and then Encarnacion hit another 3-run home run against Ryan Presley. Twins won the ball game, but Gibson was really, really good in the first 4 innings, obviously, not even allowing a base run. 1-1 to Brantley.
It's kind of like Lance Lynn in his outing in Detroit a couple days ago.
From the moment relief pitching and relief pitchers became more prominent, if not dominant, major league wins became less of an accurate measure of how well someone was pitching. You know, when you started your career, complete games, if not the norm, they certainly weren't as rare as they are now. In Gibson's case, he won his opening game back on March 31st in Baltimore, 6 no-hit innings, and has pitched well enough to win in almost all of his starts since, but yet he's stuck with just the 1 win.
Yeah, and that's, again, like you just mentioned, it's because he's not finishing games. He would have to win some of those games 3-2, 2-1. he'd have to go 9 innings. He would have to not let the bullpen come in and mess up his wins. So, you know, those are the differences in today's game because of pitch count, because of the fact that they don't want to have the starting pitcher see the lineup more than 3 times.
2-2 to Brantley. And now a full count. Ramirez on deck. It is safe to say that just what we've seen from Gibson this year, this is the best stretch of pitching we've seen from him in his big league career. I think it's gotten to the point now where guys in uniform and the viewers at home, for that matter, feel pretty good about getting a well-pitched ball game. There's a pitch down and away, and it's ball 4 to Brantley.
You know, let's relate it to what happened yesterday with Miguel Sano. Kyle Gibson was a little bit embarrassed, I think, last year when he was sent down. Here's a guy that spent the better parts of 5 years in the big leagues and was not getting it done, and the Twins had to make a move, and they sent him down. And for whatever reason, when he came back up, he seemed to have a little bit better stuff. He had a lot of luck with run support last year, but he pitched better too, and he's pitched outstanding this year. And I think he finally is getting it and having a good time pitching now. This Cleveland Cleveland Indian lineup is not an easy lineup to navigate. You know, they're a postseason team. They have been for a couple of years, and he's going to have to be at his best in order to match the guy on the mound against him.
1 strike to Ramirez, and a ball to right field. Kepler is there to haul it in on the edge of the track. Nice running catch by the right fielder for out number 2. That'll bring up Edwin Encarnacion. And the Twins out on the field have Ryan Lamar in center field, Rosario in left, Kepler in right, Escobar at third, and with the demotion of Miguel Sano, he'll be there for a good little while. Adrianza Dozier up the middle, Mauer at first, and Mitch Garver behind the plate. Some thought as to where Mauer would play whenever he did return to the lineup, and it's good to see that Joe is back at first base. Big swing and a miss by Encarnacion.
As we look at this right now, Joe Mauer is staring right into the sun with Kyle Gibson in the stretch position. If that doesn't test all the things going on with his equilibrium, nothing will. Light sensitive things, sound, all those things come into play when you have concussion-like syndrome. So it's and Joe isn't even wearing his sunglasses right now.
We've seen at times like this, third baseman intentionally one-hop the throw because any airborne throw makes it really difficult for the first baseman looking right into the sun. 1-1. Big pop-up, and the sun shouldn't be a factor for Escobar. And he makes the catch, and Gibson pitches a hitless and scoreless first inning. The Twins as they take on the Rangers Friday, June 22nd. The first 10,000 fans get a Nothing Falls But Raindrops Buxton bobblehead presented by Pentair. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets to learn more. Brian Dozier will lead off the second. Drop to 5th in the lineup. He'll be followed by Max Kepler and Mitch Garver.
Just worked out that Brian Dozier is starting off an inning, so this should not be that unfamiliar for him. But it is probably going to be a little bit frustrating for Dozier, who loves to lead off or hit 1-2.
And he takes strike one on the outside corner. Dozier hasn't had much success against Kluber. 47 at bats, only 7 hits, a 149 average, but he has taken him deep twice. Softly to center. And Naquin makes the catch, one away. That'll bring up Kepler.
One thing I want to add here for all the youngsters that might be watching the game, it just shows Brian Dozier has been struggling a little bit. Everybody knows that's been following the Twins, and it shows how tough this game is. Here's a guy that hit 42 home runs a couple years ago, and in order to stay at the major league level and be productive, you have got to really be mentally and physically tougher than nails. Brian Dozier might see this as a demotion down to 5th in the order, but he's going to have to work his way back, and it's only by production will he climb the ladder in the lineup.
Breaking ball, strike one to Kepler. And now wide, 1-1. Kepler's had some great moments in this ballpark. His 3 home run game a couple years ago, and the Twins have done well in this ballpark. 9 games here last year, and the Twins won 6 of them. Bouncer to first, Gonzalez to the bag, 2 away.
It's funny how the Twins match up against certain teams, and for whatever reason, even though Cleveland has been very, very good over the last 3-4 years, the Twins have played them well. And you know, then there's the whole saga of New York and Yankee Stadium and all that, but you know, I don't know exactly what it is, whether they match up well, but I think there's a confidence level in the Twins dugout against the Cleveland Indians.
2 down, and now here's Mitch Garver. That's why I felt at the time that if the Twins had been able to get by the Yankees in the wild card game, the series here between the Indians and the Twins would have been a great series. I'm not saying the Twins would have won it, but I think it really would have been a good series and would not have been a short series at all. Short center field, and Lindor backpedals to make the catch, and Kluber has an easy 1-2-3 second inning.
from the clubhouse. Joe Mauer says he feels completely back to normal after dealing with concussion-like symptoms for the last month. And he says even though it all happened because of a fairly common routine, making that diving catch, he's not worried, and he's not going to change the way he attacks the game, because sometimes if you're too cautious, that actually ends up leading to more injuries. And the last time Brian Dozier hit 5th was 2 years ago to the day. He only has 48 plate appearances in that spot, but he says he totally understands Paul Molitor's decision, and that he's been in the game long enough to know that things are eventually going to work itself out. He says he feels like he's made pretty good contact here, especially yesterday. So if hitting 5th is what helps him get things back on track, he's all for it, guys.
Thank you, Audra. The 5th place hitter for Cleveland tonight is Jason Kipnis. He's had really good numbers against Gibson. The first pitch fouled back. And missing inside, 1-1.
You know, I don't know as though hitters get used to their slot in the batting order, but I think if you're a good hitter, it doesn't matter where you're going to get your opportunity. Especially
to the right side. Mauer flips to Gibson. Away.
Kyle Gibson, a good fielding pitcher, is over and covering the bag. But back to my point, especially in today's game where managers, you know, they're moving different lineups around all the time. It's rare to see the same 9 guys in the lineup in the same spot day in and day out in today's game.
Here's Jan Gomes, the Cleveland catcher. Gomes with good numbers against Gibson, 11 for 24 with a couple of home runs. Right on the outside corner at 95.
If Kyle Gibson looks like he is dialed in. Kluber had a very easy top of the second, but Kyle early on has been hitting his spots and making the pitches that he needs to make. Just watch Mitch Garver, and where the glove is, that one was up in the zone. He got away with one, but it was in the strike zone and a swing and a miss. So he's ahead.
2 strikes to Gomes. Chisenhall will follow. And foul back.
That last pitch is where Kyle Gibson has always given things away, and you know there's no cardinal rule in pitching is that you don't allow 2-strike hits, 0-2 hits, but Kyle Gibson would always throw a ball just off the plate, always throw a ball, and it's like you're giving a hitter a freebie. And there he threw one up in the zone on the 3rd pitch and got Gomes to swing at it. He almost got him to swing and miss at it.
1-2. Right on the outside corner with another fastball, 2 down.
Dot in that outside corner. Let's watch this fastball and how it tails back in a little bit. It might actually start it out of the zone and just comes right back. Could have been off the plate, but you gotta love an umpire that just gives the pitcher the benefit of the doubt.
If you're a pitcher, you gotta love an umpire like that.
Well, I don't see any hitters around here.
2 down, and now Chisenhall. Chisenhall's just off the disabled list himself. Indians have, like everybody, been dealing with a lot of injuries. They've had a hard time keeping particularly their outfielders healthy. And a ground ball up the middle. Twins shifting him to pull and hit it to the 3rd base side of second base for the first Cleveland hit. And that'll bring up Tyler Naquin.
Well, good hitting by Chisenhall there. A fastball that was left too much of the plate, and he just goes up the middle with it. Nobody there because of the shift. I'm not sure that had they played straight away, Adrianza would have had a chance to get that. It's hit pretty well up the middle.
Naquin will bat, just activated today. Yonder Alonso is on the family emergency list, meaning he will miss a minimum of 3, no more than 7 days. And Naquin called up and plugged right into center field. Outside, ball 1.
Again, this just shows how tough this game is. This kid played center field all last year and struggled a little bit. He's been down in the minor leagues.
The Indians designated for assignment veteran Melky Cabrera, who had a hard time getting on track here. Another example of a player who didn't go to spring training with a team, signed late, had a hard time catching up.
Well, they signed him in part because of a positive report from his former teammate in Toronto, Edwin Encarnacion, and Melky played together.
Line to left, a base hit. And Rosario begging Chisenhall to try for third base, but he doesn't. First and second, 2 down.
That's a good way of putting it. Eddie loves to show off that arm. See another pitch that he wanted to get in, and the ball kind of got a little too much of the plate. A real good hitting there by Naquin. Inside out swing, shooting it to the left side.
And now Eric Gonzalez faced Gibson a couple of times. Gibson has yet to give up a hit, hoping to bury Gonzalez here and get the Twins off the field in the second inning.
Yeah, you don't want his pitch count to climb too much. If Kyle's going to have a chance to win a game, a close game, he's going to have to go toe-to-toe and get deep into the game.
Breaking ball and a swing and a miss.
One thing about Terry Francona and Corey Kluber will tell him when he's done. It's not so much about pitch count. He trusts Francona trusts Kluber that he'll be honest with him, and if Corey Kluber's pitching well, he gets a lot more pitches than a lot of guys. He's also efficient.
And a liner to the shortstop Adrianza. Well hit ball. Couple of hits are wasted. The Twins still have a 1-0 lead. Of Cleveland among a bunch of notable pitchers who are donating money for every strikeout, and Kluber certainly has picked up plenty of those. He's not walked a batter in now 45 and a third innings, and as we said, 26 straight starts allowing 3 runs or less. Twins got one early. We'll see if they can add some here in the third. Adrianza takes inside, ball 1. One of the reasons Kluber has gone so long without walking people, he has a wipeout pitch, a 2-strike chase pitch that no one wants to see. So if you're Adrianza or any batter, 2-0, you don't want to put the ball in play, because you know once the ball gets to 2 strikes, or once the count gets to 2 strikes, your chances aren't very good. See what happens here now on 2-0. Uh-oh.
Okay, call Vegas. What are the odds?
Wake up the kids. 3-0. 175 batters now without a walk. And a strike. Not there yet.
how many major league pitchers could throw 175 pitches without 10 of them being out of the strike zone, let alone innings.
3-1. Pulled on the ground foul, and now there's Adrianza with 2 strikes. 14 quality starts in a row for Kluber, and his game entering ERA 1.99, second only to Justin Verlander's 1.61 in the American League.
Yeah, and to make it worse, here at Progressive Field, it's his 9th start of the season at home. He's 6-0 with a 1.26 ERA.
Full count to Adrianza, and he lines one to center field. No walk, one better for Adrianza. Solid single leading off the 3rd inning. That'll bring up Ryan Lamar.
3-2. He didn't have the confidence to throw that good slider, and it's a fastball, 90 mile an hour. It wasn't anything super great, and you leave him up there. Kyle Gibson did. He gave up a hit. Now Corey Kluber has done the same.
Ryan Lamar had a good series at Target Field a couple weeks ago against the Indians, and in fact he is 10 for 20 against Cleveland this year, including the walk-off hit in San Juan in the 2nd game of that series. Tried to bunt, and it's strike 1. Yeah, this is where the Twins failed terribly in Detroit, scoring in the 1st inning, but then unable to add on, and it ended up costing them 2 ball games. And so with a leadoff single, number 9 batter at least trying to advance Adrianza to second base. Might come back and try to bunt again here with 1 strike. Instead, a double play ground. 6-4, 3-2 away. So that takes care of that. 2 are down, and now Mauer will bat with 2 away.
Well, not just because it happened to the Twins, but probably more because I'm a former pitcher. But sometimes a ground ball can be your best friend, and when you have guys that have been together and can turn it that smoothly, it's almost poetry. Ryan Lamar hit the ball fairly hard on the ground, but when you hit it right at a guy like Lindor, it's not going to end up to be a good result usually.
Mauer grounded out to first his first time up, and he takes high, ball 1. I think if Kluber's going to walk anybody here tonight, it would be Mauer at the plate. He's got by far the most patient approach at the plate.
He does, and I think there's a lot of respect from Corey Kluber's part with Joe Mauer. He's not going to throw him a cookie. He's going to have to pitch him tough. There was a hanging breaking ball there. That's something, you know, the routine that Kluber's been through, you can almost imagine. He hasn't hardly made any mistakes, and he just made one there.
2-0. 3-0 now to Mauer. He recovered from 3-0 to not walk Adrianza. Now it's 3-0 to Joe Mauer. 177 batters faced without a walk. Joe could make national headlines if he had swung at that 3-0 pitch. You realize that, don't you? If Joe Mauer had swung at that 3-0 pitch.
I think right now Corey Kluber would rather give up a base hit than a walk.
Oh, I know he would.
When you're on a roll like that, why not go for the record?
3-1 now to Mauer. And strike 2 taken.
Two absolute pitchers' pitches right on the bottom of the strike zone. One at 92, last one at 89. Look at how it paints that line knee high. But it's center cut. It's right over the middle of the plate.
Tap to the right side. Nice pickup by Gonzalez. And Kluber comes back from 3-0 to retire Mauer. Faces just 3 men in the 3rd.
run in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, $1.8 million has been raised to the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. In addition, the Twins will donate $10,000 for each home run hit by a Twins hitter and $1,000 for each strikeout recorded by a Twins pitcher this week. Top of the order, Francisco Lindor facing Kyle Gibson. And just inside ball one. It'll be Lindor, Brantley, and Ramirez, with Gibson nursing a 1-0 lead. Lindor bounced to Dozier, leading off the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
It's something that we were talking about in the Detroit series, and I think we could talk about it every single night, is the effect of that high fastball now and getting hitters to chase up in the zone.
Breaking ball down and in, 2-1.
Even on that ball, very good pitch in my opinion. Lindor patient enough to hold up, but you could see he almost committed to that swing and a ball out of the zone.
Tapper to Dozier again. That ball hit the edge of the grass and skipped to him, one away. I'll bet that for most of your career, your pitching coaches told you keep the ball down. Keep the ball down.
Every single day, because the belt high strike was the limit. You didn't get anything above the belt unless your last name was Palmer or Clemens.
And of course, back then the feeling was the ball, why would you all elevate it already with the delivery of the pitch? Make the hitter lift the ball out of the ballpark. And that's what they do now. That's what the swing planes do. That's what the launch angle is all about, taking a pitch and lifting it. And it's easier to do it on a pitch down in the strike zone with the swing plane that so many hitters have adopted than it is the high pitch.
And that's what we're seeing in today's hitters, is they're so used to that uppercut swing that they never get on top of the high fastball.
Over the inside corner.
In reality, what we're seeing is the evolution of the strike zone and where pitchers pitch in the zone. You know, I still think the ball below the knees that breaks down, for me it was a fork ball, but for a lot of the guys that got a good curve ball, hitters are still susceptible because they like that ball down, and then when it breaks even further down, it's in the dirt. They can't hit a ball in the dirt, or they're going to at least hop it and get a ground ball.
1-2 to Brantley, who fouled the ball off his front leg.
One of the things and why I learned all that, keep the ball down, is I had a pitch in my environment. My environment was Tiger Stadium, and left field line, right field line, not a lot of room for error there, but you had a lot of room up the middle, and you had long grass in the days that I played. Because of that, Sparky Anderson would make the grounds crew keep the grass a little longer. Nowadays it's all I think critiqued by Major League Baseball. They probably come out and let the grounds crew know when they have to cut the grass if it's a quarter inch too high.
You had 440 feet to work with the straightaway center field.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I needed every foot of it.
1-2 from Gibson to Brantley.
It's only 40 more feet than here at Progressive Field.
It's hit to center, and Lamar angling over. With the catch, 2 away. Now time for the Lowe's whole team together. And the Yankees, of course, convenient confines of the new Yankee Stadium. By the way, when can we stop calling it new? It's 15 years old or whatever it is now.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. And the Indians, with Ramirez and Lindor, 2 of their first 3 hitters, well above their home run pace of a year ago. They've got 96 home runs. 2 down here. Ramirez hit a liner to Kepler at the edge of the warning track his first time up, and there is another first pitch strike from Kyle Gibson.
He's been doing a great job so far. Pitch count in great shape.
Checked his swing, and it's 1-1.
Again, the great curveball that gets Ramirez, who's a great hitter, especially fastball hitter. He almost offered at that pitch, and there would have been nothing he could do with it because it ended up right about his shoe tops.
Missing again, down and in, 2-1. part of the year where the Twins were certainly expecting, certainly hoping, maybe even expecting Irvin Santana to be back. That hasn't happened, and now word tonight that Trevor May's been put on the disabled list at Rochester with shoulder inflammation. So it's not just the injuries that the Twins have experienced since opening day, it's the players recovering from injuries that have been a little
I feel bad
frustrating.
Trevor May going through the Tommy John and all the work he had to do, and now he gets a sore shoulder.
3-1. And out of the reach of Mauer, 3-2.
And those are the kind of, look at Joe Stern in the sun again. Those are the kind of exertion type moves that you can tell Joe's 100% again. He reacted very well to that ball going to his left.
The challenge will be, we've seen him cover so much ground right and left, diving for balls, and instincts will take over. Joe will do that. The ball hits sharply. Adrianza skips to his left, throws to first, and another 1-2-3 inning for Gibson. Another good inning for Gibson, and it's 1-0.
Eduardo Escobar and Eddie Rosario getting to work for the Twins, hopefully adding on to some runs. Those two are the topic of our Dairy Queen winning combination. It's hard to imagine where this Twins team would be without the Eddies. This month, they've carried the Twins offense, both of their batting averages well above the rest of the team. They've driven in nearly half of all the runs that this team has scored this month. Their slugging percentage more than twice that of the rest of their teammates. You ask anybody in this clubhouse and they all agree this team wouldn't be where they are without those two guys. Clearly Eddie Rosario already off to a good start, continuing his hot streak, and we'll see if Eduardo Escobar can follow in suit. Guys.
Thank you, Andre. Eddie Rosario taking strike one from Corey Kluber. And as important as he's been to this point, I think Eduardo Escobar is going to, the ball hooked on the right field line, a fair ball, and Rosario's got another extra base hit against Kluber. It is a leadoff double for Rosario.
Well, when you're hot, you're hot. Eddie is just seeing the ball so well. I talk about his hands all the time. As a former pitcher, you can almost sense when guys have strong hands, they can throw the barrel of the bat at the ball and still hook it. And that's what he did right there. And it's good to see him get on the leadoff hit. He hit the home run in the first inning, and when I look back at my scorecard from this last series in Detroit 2 games ago, the Twins scored 2 in the first and didn't score again. Yesterday's game, Twins scored 1 in the first and didn't score again. So
got to take advantage of this opportunity, because you don't get many against Kluber.
Absolutely.
Leadoff double, got to get a run, at least one this inning. Here's Escobar. Went down swinging on a foul tip his first time up. And Rosario bluffs toward third base. Started to say Escobar to me is even going to be more important now moving forward than he has been, and that's that's hard to measure, because I know in the pregame show Brian Dozier said he thinks Miguel Sano will be back before you know it. I don't think so. I don't know anything, of course, but I don't think this is a short-term thing at all for Sano. There's a lot of work that needs to be done with the young man, and how long he stays down there or works his way through the rungs of the minor league ladder, that's up to Miguel Sano, and there is some control certainly that he has about things. But I personally am not anticipating him being back before the All-Star break. 2-0 to Escobar and a foul back.
Well, I tend to agree with you, Dick. I think he's got some things to work on, and one of the reasons he's going down to Fort Myers is because there's some coaches down there that are going to try to insist that he does certain things. But Miguel's destiny is in his own hands, and I think he recognized that yesterday in the way he approached the media after his demotion.
2-1 to Escobar. Missing inside and another 3-ball count.
Could this be the one? We're going to say that when every 3-ball count tonight.
179 batters without a walk.
Well, either way, Escobar needs to make something happen here. He's got an opportunity to put another one on the board.
And ball 4. First walk that Corey Kluber has allowed after 179 plate appearances. First and second. And now Logan Morrison with nobody out. Well, regarding Sano, there's an important man, Fred Guerrero, who is the director of Latin American scouting and U.S. integration. He's also the scout who signed Miguel Sano, and he'll be an influence, one would hope, in Sano's return to the big leagues. Also Ramon Borrego, the Fort Myers manager. So they will be a couple of instrumental people in Miguel Sano's life till further notice. Inside ball 1.
Well, this conversation all came about with Eddie Rosario, and Audra Martin had a little hit with him today about Sano, and she asked him if it would put added pressure on him. And I think anytime a player thinks that they have to do more than they can.
Line and a big pickup by Gonzalez. Low throw, and the ball gets away from Kluber. Rosario will score, and the Twins lead 2-0. Heck of a play by Gonzalez, and Lindor picked the ball up, and a good throw would have turned a remarkable double play. The Twins add a run here in the 4th.
I can speak for how difficult it is if you're a fielding pitcher right here. You see the ball is picked clean. Now Corey Kluber is sprinting over, but he's reaching, trying to find the bag, getting his feet in position to make a tag on the bag, and the throw goes back up the line, and then he's got to dive for it. So that happens more than you think it does if the relay coming from second base is off the line at first.
No run batted in, with Rosario scoring on the throwing error. Charge to Lindor. Morrison at first, 1 down, and now Brian Dozier. Right now the run is an unearned run, but Dozier can change all that with a base hit here, or even a fly ball for that matter. He hit a fly ball to medium deep center field in the 2nd inning. A high fly to left field. Looking up is Brantley, and that ball is gone. A 2-run home run for Brian Dozier, and the Twins lead 4-0.
There we go.
It's the first time Kluber has given up more than 4 or more than 3 runs. The first time Kluber has given up more than 3 runs in 27 starts.
Well, Brian Dozier's got to feel like the weight of the world just came off of him. Ball right down the middle, and you don't see that out of Kluber too often. Dozier puts the swing that we've seen so many times right on that ball. and he sends it over the wall there in left field, and Twins are having themselves a pretty good inning.
And now Max Kepler checks his swing, takes a strike. Kluber in the inning, issuing the first walk he's given up in more than a month. May 8th at Miller Park, he walked a guy. And for the first time in nearly a season's worth of starts, Kluber's given up more than 3 runs.
See that swing again, Brian Dozier. See the exit velocity at 96.7 miles an hour. Launch angle, that's important, folks. It's got to go up to go out. 34 degree.
4-0 Twins. 2 strikes to Kepler. A high pop up, plenty of launch angle on that. Kipnis retreats. Now called off by Chisenhall, 2 away. And that'll bring up Garver.
To the plate now for the Twins.
Garver with a pop to short left, gathered in by Lindor.
Well, this is so important. Kyle Gibson sitting in the Twins dugout sees the team score him 3 runs. Now he's got 4 runs to work with. It's so important that he go out, get his warm-up tosses in, and get that first guy out. It'll be Edwin Encarnacion to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning.
Strike 1 to Garver. And strike 2.
We've seen Kluber throwing a lot of fastballs in today's game, and his go-to pitch is the slider, but he also can really run a sinker, and the ball hasn't sunk that much with his fastballs.
Garver takes 3 and he'll sit down, but a good inning for the Twins. It started with a Rosario double. 3 runs scored, 2 of them on Brian Dozier's home run. Night at Target Field, a limited number of St. Thomas theme night packages are available that include a game ticket and a purple and gray Twins cap. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/St. Thomas or call 800-33-TWINS. Edwin Encarnacion to lead off the Cleveland 4th. There's strike 1. Try to figure this game out, Jack Morris. I don't know if the Twins are going to win this game or not.
They're going to win.
But Gibson has been plagued by poor run support all year long. So he finally gets some run support with his mound opponent being Corey Kluber. Figure that out.
I saw Kyle Gibson in the hotel lobby as I was walking over to the ballpark today, and I was asking about game day. Does he Does he get anxious? Does he, you know? And he says, you know, I slept in today and I feel really good. And we were talking about Kluber pitching, and I said, does that affect you? And he says, well, I know we're not going to get a lot of runs tonight. And I said, Kyle, you never pitch against, or you never hit against him, so just worry about your job. And he said, yeah, I know, I feel really good. It's been fun. And that's what he needed to do right there, is get that leadoff guy with the strikeout.
You've seen him dot the corner with a fastball. He dropped a breaking ball in a perfect spot to get a called third strike. That's what we've seen. Look at that. You know, he's had great command of that breaking ball, the curve, and it drops.
Yeah.
I mean, Bert would call it a 12-6.
It is.
Breaks
That's
almost straight down.
It's a true curveball, and quite honestly, that's the pitch that has really distinguished Kyle this year. That's something that he didn't have last year, and has not had. He had the little cutter, little slurve, I call it, where he was trying to always nibble away, and it was always off the plate, just a little bit. Now he's having more confidence, so he's throwing the ball on the corner on the plate side.
They fly left center field. Lamar retreats, says, I got it. Makes the catch. When Gibson had that brilliant outing against the Yankees, we all know what happened at the end of the ballgame. The fact of the matter is, in Yankee Stadium, 6 innings, only 1 hit, 10 strikeouts, and he had tremendous command of a pitch, as you said, he never used to have.
Yeah, the curveball really made that game special for Kyle Gibson, and I think that game gave him more confidence to throw it down the road. Sometimes that happens. You know, Kyle's a guy that's been in the big leagues, what, 6th season I think he's in right now, and you wonder, why didn't this happen earlier? Well, sometimes it just evolves. You can't really help it.
Bounces that one, ball 1. Gibson set down 6 in a row now after the back-to-back 2-out singles in the second.
And then on the other hand, let's try to explain why Corey Kluber gave up 4. You know, there's no explanation for that, other than the fact that maybe his breaking ball and his sinker wasn't quite as sharp.
Breaking ball lifted to short left. 3 Twins can catch it, and Rosario will catch it and jog in. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Kyle Gibson. Ryan Dozier celebrating after his 10th home run of the year. Twins fans making the weekend trip here. Might not be from Minnesota. They might be from Ohio someplace. But they're enjoying the game so far. Twins leading 4-0. And A-Ray Adrianza will lead off the 5th against Corey Kluber. Taylor Motter, the guy in the foreground there, he's new to the Twins. Easy to recognize with the long blonde hair. Utility player. Talked to him this afternoon. He said he's played everywhere for Rochester, infield and outfield. So
valuable guy to have around in this day and age of a 13-man pitching staff.
Yeah, Coach Gene Glenn had him out at third base early, taking ground balls, and he took ground balls at short. So, you know, those utility guys, they've got to almost do the circuit to stay in shape. Because, like Paul said, you just be ready. We don't know where we're going to put you, but you'll get in there eventually.
And he has caught, not in a big league game, but he has done some catching in the minor league. So, worst comes to worst, he might find himself behind the plate. 2 strikes, and the ball chopped foul. All 4 runs against Kluber have been earned runs. There was an error in the 4th inning, but the Dozier home run made all the runs earned. Two strikes to the leadoff man in the 5th. Adrianza lashes it to left. Brantley's back, and he makes the catch 1 away. Pretty well hit ball for the first out. That'll bring up Ryan Lamar. Live coverage of the FIFA World Cup is on Fox tomorrow. Messi and Argentina battle Iceland and group play, or in group play. Coverage begins at 7 a.m. Central, or stream all the action live on Fox Sports app. Watching a little bit of that. Was happy to see Jenny Taft, who used to work for Fox Sports North, doing some sideline reporting.
Yeah.
Another big step forward in her blossoming career. Ryan Lamar, the batter, it bounced into a double play his first time up, and he takes a strike.
Well, Lamar tried to maybe move the runner over with a bunt, and then he ended up hitting the ball sharply at Lindor for a double play.
2 strikes. Paul Molitor said in passing today when he met with the media that, you know, he always looked forward to facing the best.
He did say that very subtly, didn't he?
And in his era, talking about the Jim Palmers of the world and the Roger Clemenses, people like that. 2 strikes to Lamar. Foul back. But you hope that's the case. I mean, everybody has heard about Kluber, admired him in terms of how he handles himself. I mean, forget his effectiveness as a pitcher. He's what you'd want on your staff. And you hope that the hitters go, I get to face Kluber. Not I have to face.
I want to get a hit off of him and show him that I deserve to be here. If I can beat the best, if I can get a hit off of a Kluber, or if I can, you know, as a pitcher, if I can strike out Joe Mauer, you know, those are the kind of things that, you know, separate guys mentally.
1 and 2 to Lamar. Now 2 and 2.
I have really liked the approaches, though, of Ryan Lamar. He's done some things here in the last week that, you know, I think he's being rewarded. Obviously, it's partly because of Buxton's injury, but he's got an idea of what he's trying to do, and his body is staying pretty still, I think.
And he takes low, 3 and 2. 4th 3-ball count from Kluber. He did issue a walk in the 4th. Swing and a miss, and for the 2nd swing in a row, the hand comes off the bat. 2 down.
Well, again, this is not the greatest breaking ball from Corey Kluber. It's actually just another fastball, 88 mile an hour, kind of like a changeup, actually. And you're right about Lamar. For whatever reason, his bottom hand is coming off the bat.
Mauer with a couple of ground balls to Gonzalez in his return to the lineup. Outside, ball 1. Boy, look at that. Opponent batting average creeping up the 2nd time, but 3rd time through the lineup, back down where it was the 1st time. Strike called, 1-1.
One thing about Corey Kluber, and this is pretty obvious, he's not done competing in this game. If he throws up zeros for 4 more innings, he's got confidence in his teammates.
And Inside 2-1. Had some back issues last year. The Indians shut him down for a while. The workload, some thought maybe from the year before, pitching all the way through the World Series, might have affected him the following year. Pitches high, another 3-ball count. 3-1.
I think he exemplifies what an ace is. When he came over and started showing some of the younger Cleveland pitching staff his work ethic and how he goes about his business. Case in point, tomorrow's starter.
Now ground ball to second, and an easy play for Kipnis, and an easy 5th inning for Kluber. Selling brand in the Twin Cities. By Grant Casino, the best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. So far so good, but half the game yet to play. The Twins leading 4-0, and Kyle Gibson will pitch to the bottom third of the Indians lineup, starting with Lonnie Chisenhall. Up and away, ball one. The Indians have 2 hits, both singles, both coming after the second out of the second inning, and the first single was by Lonnie Chisenhall. That is a foul ball. 1-1.
Well, other than the fact that he's thrown 4 straight zeros up there, the other thing that's been impressive about Kyle Gibson is look at where his pitch count is. That's in good shape right now. 5th inning and 52 pitches.
Down and in, and it's 2-1. 118 pitches in his last start, but the Twins knew they were going to have an extra day between starts for their starters with Monday's off day. 2-1 to Chisenhall, and now 3-1 with Naquin on deck. Gibson's issued 1 walk, a 1-out walk in the first to Michael Brantley. Missed outside, a leadoff walk here in the 5th. Naquin will hit with a man aboard. Coming up on Sunday, it's Father's Day. Give Dad the gift of baseball with MLB.tv. You can watch baseball live or on demand on his favorite supported devices and save 50% now through Father's Day. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Here's Naquin. Slapped a line drive single to left his first time up. Gibson has mixed his fastballs up this year. The 4-seamer that rides high still has the sinker that's induced 8 ground ball double plays. He misses outside, ball 1.
When Kyle came to the big leagues, that was his bread and butter pitch, the running, sinking fastball. And he had really good movement with it. And everybody thought, you know, this guy's going to be another one of those type of pitchers, sinker slider type guy. The slider flattened out, and now he runs a 4-seam fastball up. He's always had good control, even though he was always pitching off the plate instead of this year on the plate. But the curveball added with the high 4-seam fastball has really given him quite the arsenal.
Might have been in off the plate, but he got the call. 1-1. Missing inside. Now 2-1.
He needs a ground ball right here.
Fouled away. 2-2. He was the prototypical pitch to contact pitcher, but that's no longer the case either. Entered the game 75 2/3 innings this year with 78 strikeouts.
Yeah, anytime you have more strikeouts than innings pitched, you're doing something right. And we have to acknowledge his velocity has been better. He's touched 97 this year. In his first couple years, I don't think he ever touched anything over 94. So, maybe a strike program, but I think it's more of a case of confidence than anything else with Kyle. There's
Chopper to second. Stumbling out of the box is Naquin, but he'll still beat it out. He's got the lead runner, 2 down or 1 down, and Naquin is at first. And Naquin stumbled a little bit trying to leave the batter's box, but he is aboard on a fielder's choice.
First baseman, Eric Gonzalez.
Eric Gonzalez, the batter.
That was a 4-5. Escobar was the guy covering short.
Gonzalez lined out to Adrianza to end the second inning threat the Indians put together. Missing down and away. Kluber's gone 5 innings, but Tyler Olson's getting loose in their pen. Terry Francona is used to handing the ball game to the bullpen when Kluber starts with a lead. And here the Indians are down 4-0. Just off the plate. It's 2-0. 65 pitches thrown for Kluber, so unless there is a physical issue that we're unaware of, we would expect Kluber to go back out there in the 6th. Gibson trying to get us there with a 4-run lead. Chop foul, and it's 2-1. The Indians, of course, leading the division as they have most of the way by 4.5 games over Detroit, 6 games over the Twins. So, yeah, it's June 15th, but there's a little urgency here for the Twins because, the difference between winning this series or losing it 2-1 is 2 games in the standings.
Absolutely.
And they're already 6 games back.
I would consider it more than a little urgency. You need to win them. You need to win this series. You need to pick up ground on the team that's leading your division, and by right now a fairly significant amount.
I would go another step further in convincing everybody in the Twins dugout and front office that they can play with Cleveland. They split the 2 games in San Juan, won 3 of the 4 in Minnesota. 2-2 to Eric Gonzalez. Chopper right side, and they'll only get 1 out. And they're lucky to get that one, just barely getting Gonzalez at first.
He gets down the line pretty well.
Naquin advances to second, 2 away.
Dozier had to cover a little bit of ground to get to the ball and then had to get rid of it quick. Watch how Gonzalez motors down the line. Takes him a while to get going, but that was a bang play.
Now Lindor, who has bounced out to Dozier twice so far tonight. block by Garver. The most enjoyable players for me to watch as a baseball fan are the players who know they're good and are relaxed, and then that allows their athletic ability to come out even further. This guy's one of those guys. He knows he's good.
Very confident. He came into the big leagues that way and showed that he fit right away. Rarely do you see a young kid come in and just become a star immediately.
Well, I think Twins fans are well aware of that.
Yeah.
With prospects that seem to stumble out of the gate, but this guy didn't, and he's improved. And that's, you look up and down this Cleveland lineup, and that's really the reason they've emerged as the team to beat in the division. And players that continue to get better, whether it's Ramirez, Lindor. Dozier picks it off, and from the outfield grass throws him out. Despite the leadoff walk, Gibson comes back with 3 ground ball outs, and after 5, it's 4-0 Twins.
That's where the shift really paid off. Dozier makes a nice play to his left.
Brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Twins leading Corey Kluber and the Indians 4-0, and they're done having to face Corey Kluber as the Indians go to the bullpen. And Tyler Olson does come out of the pen here to start the 6th inning. 65 pitches thrown.
Yeah, there's
for Kluber.
Got to be maybe a little red flag. We don't know anything yet, but it's highly unusual that Terry would take him out of the game this early, especially with his pitch count.
And Rosario takes outside ball 1.
He knows how important he is to his rotation, and better to err on the side of caution, I think.
So we'll wait and see if there is a medical reason this move was made. A bullet to Lindor, and Rosario's hit 3 rockets to him.
Yeah, Lindor kind of takes away a hit from Rosario just the way Dozier took away a hit from Lindor. Ball squared up nicely.
A home run, a double, and this tee shot. Wow. That sound.
That's a crappy sound. I like the ones that are that broken bat sound.
An awful, disgusting
That's a
sound.
lovely sound.
Oh, I hate that sound.
Oh, greatest sound in the game.
1 strike to Escobar.
There's
another rocket. And Escobar's aboard with his first hit. Drew a walk against Kluber in the 4th, and now a 1-out single here in the 6th.
Now to the plate for Minnesota,
Well, here's that sound again. No, we don't hear it. They muted the sound. We're going to hear it here. Sounds just the same.
We just dubbed it in. Here's Logan Morrison reached on a fielder's choice, scored in the 4th inning. This is the soft underbelly, if you will, of the Cleveland team, the bullpen, and the Twins get into it surprisingly in the 6th inning. And Morrison with a hefty swing and a foul, 1 strike.
Well, I don't know if it's any coincidence or not. They're facing a left-hander, which hasn't always been good, but this guy throws fairly hard. And both Rosario and Escobar have had fastballs to hit.
And waiting on a breaking ball and another foul. No problem for the Indians in their starting rotation. Look what they've done so far this year and where they rank in Major League Baseball, not the American League, but then look to the right, the relievers, 29th, 29th, 30th, and 30th. It's something that will need to be addressed here in Cleveland, and we expect that it will. Now, most of this season has been played for Cleveland without Andrew Miller, but they don't know yet when he's going to come back. And Morrison gets another foul tip. It might be a couple weeks, and then they don't know, because of his recent health history, what he's going to be like when he comes off the disabled list.
And so Dan Otero gets up and starts throwing in the Cleveland pen. Well, there's a simple solution for that. You look at all those numbers and just let the starters finish the game, right?
In June?
In 1952.
But and it varies so much from year to year. I've always felt that relief pitching is the most fickle part of a baseball team. It can be great one year, and then the same guys come back next year, and it's not nearly as good, or maybe even bad. In this case, the Indians lost Shaw to the Rockies through free agency, and so we all thought, well, they're going to miss him because he was reliable, at the very least, durable to be sure. And now, I mean, Cody Allen has struggled a little bit this year. Even at the very end of the Cleveland bullpen, they've had some issues.
Well, think about it, how hard it has to be to come out not only one year and have a great year out of the pen, but year in and year out. It's I say it all the time, this is a tough game. This is a tough business. The best of the best are here, and there's always a new crop coming in to try to prove they belong.
1-2 to Morrison. Twins trying to add on here in the 6th. Sidearm fastball off the plate, 2-2. Oliver Perez was added to the Cleveland bullpen. The other relievers, right-handers, Tomlin, McAllister, Otero, Allen the closer. Ramirez has actually done a really nice job. Neil Ramirez for the Indians. Popped up, backing out of play.
They get a kick out of a longtime Cleveland bullpen pitcher, Scott Atchison, is their bullpen coach now.
Oh, yeah.
What a better guy to have. It's almost like everyday Eddie out there in the Twins pen, except that it would have been like Eddie pitching one year and then being the coach the next.
And getting back is Escobar. Escobar goes, and the pitch looped to center and down for a hit. Escobar got deep, and he will beat Ramirez to third base because of the shift. He pulled up at second base, and then once he realized A, where the ball was, and B, where the third baseman was, he scampered to third. Good at bat. One of his best at bats recently for Logan Morrison.
It was. We're going to have a pitching change, but also good base running by Eduardo Escobar. Here's the replay. Ball down and away, and it's just a little looping base hit to center. Escobar's got to pick up the ball as soon as it makes contact and make sure the center fielder Naquin doesn't catch it, and then he's pretty much got to pick up third base and realize that he's going to get past Ramirez and beat him to third.
Here we are in the sixth. The Twins lead it 4-0. They've knocked Corey Kluber out of the ball game and are working their way through the Cleveland pen. FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Justin Johnson the leader after one. Dan Otero will bring his sinker ball to the mound, trying to get a ground ball double play and keep this a 4-0 ball game.
Yeah, he's a guy that throws a lot of off-speed pitches. Otero's been around for a while. Third in the club with 22 innings out of the bullpen.
Dozier homered with a man aboard in the fourth, his last time up. Takes down and away, close pitch, ball one. Dozier with his 10th home run of the year, and 9 of them have been on the road.
I mean, where he hit that one, it's legit. That's a home run anywhere.
There's the ground ball, but it's booted by Lindor, and everyone is safe. His second error of the ball game. Wow. Another run comes in.
We've seen a few things in tonight's game that you don't see very often with Cleveland. Kluber hasn't, or wasn't as sharp as he normally is, and 2 errors by the shortstop is very unusual.
Dozier will get credit for a run batted in, because you can't assume a double play, but if you ever could, you would have assumed that one. And so Dozier at first, Morrison at second, 5-0 Twins, and here's Max Kepler.
Well, if you want to impress your manager, especially after the recent woes of the offense, you do what the Twins are doing tonight. They've scored now in 3 different innings.
Couldn't do it against Blaine Hardy, and instead they decided to do it against Corey Kluber. Knock him out after 5. A throwing error earlier, and now a fielding error, and the inning will continue. Kepler with a ground ball to first and a fly ball to right. He's pulled the ball twice, once on the ground, once in the air. Now he's going to try to meet halfway here and hit a line drive someplace. He takes down and in. It's 1-1.
You know, back to a point we were talking about earlier with the bullpen. It's so difficult to repeat good years for anybody in baseball. The bullpen seems to be more, magnified than ever.
Big chopper to the right side.
And they'll get one out. Both runners move up. So Kepler pounded it so hard into the ground right in front of home plate. He advances the runners 2 away.
Yeah. 2 runners now in scoring position. Let's take another look at that swing by Kepler. And I don't know if it hit off the plate or not, but look at how high it had to have hit off the plate. High enough to get both runners.
See if the
ahead.
plate.
Yep.
Right off the edge of the plate.
Right off the edge. But back to the relievers, one of the issues is you're playing 19 games against the same team. And that, to me, really emphasizes why it's so hard to be good over and over. They're going to see everything you have in almost every situation. And then you got to go out and do it again.
Yeah. Big at bat here for Garver. 2 men in scoring position with 2 out. The Twins have already added 1 run this inning. Garver takes inside, an inside corner strike. 0-1. But it was a formula here. Every bit as much here as it was in Kansas City when they went to the World Series in back-to-back years. You hope to get 6, maybe 5 1/3. Then Miller, Shaw, Allen, game over.
Well, the thing about
balk. A balk by Otero, and a run will come in. Morrison from third, and Escobar will go to third.
Murphy's Law night here in Cleveland for the Indians.
An error and a balk in this inning alone. See what happened here. Just that little twitch right there, just at the beginning of the video.
No, there it is.
There it is, yep. Thought I saw one as soon as we rolled the video. And I believe we can credit DJ Rayburn, the second base umpire, for making that balk call. 1-1 to Garver. And now 1-2. Mitch took 3 pitches, all strikes in the 4th. He's taken a couple of strikes here in the 6th. Chop to the right side. And the Twins got a couple of runs, and the Indians helped them score those runs. It is 6-0.
Of the 6th inning, and the last time this team was here at Progressive Field, they got to celebrate making history, getting to the postseason after losing 103 games the year before. I was talking to guys earlier today, and they all agreed that it's hard to walk into this clubhouse and not think back to that night. And it's also a really good reminder, yeah, things aren't going so great for the team right now. But if you look back on last year, there were some ups and downs in that season as well. Look what they were able to pull off. Brian Dozier says, you know, baseball is kind of quirky. You never know what could be something that will spark a turnaround. Maybe being back here where they had such a big moment last season could be what turns things around. So far, it looks like that spark has happened. Guys?
Yeah, Nicky Delmonico hit a home run in extra innings with the White Sox winning, and that clinched the playoff spot for the Twins, who had lost the night before. They lost their game here. They also lost the series finale the next day. There's a weak pop-up right field. It'll carry out to Dozier or Kepler, and it's Kepler with the catch, and Brantley is retired. Plenty of run support tonight, and Gibson in position, perhaps, to win his second game of the year.
Well, to Audra's point, first of all, there's nothing better than celebrating in somebody else's clubhouse, because they bring out champagne that nobody drinks anymore. They got goggles on because their eyes sting. I mean, they're doing it all wrong, but they still celebrate. And does it stink the next day or what? So do it on the road so you can go back to your own clubhouse and feel good.
Cleaning crew here, of course, they've had a lot of practice here over the years with the success the Indians had.
Yeah.
They turned that clubhouse. You never would have known.
New carpet the next day.
Oh, it was well, not new carpet, but the steam cleaning and all that. It was just a tremendous, accomplished as the Twins should feel for getting to the playoffs. The clubhouse crew did it even one better. You never had any hint that there was any celebrating the night before. 1-1 to Jose Ramirez. You were a part of one of the oddest clinches. You guys left Toronto, got off the bus, found out again, I think it was the White Sox lost or whatever, and you were on your way to Chicago, but you celebrated, hugged each other on the bus or coming off the bus, and then it was a check swing foul, and then continued on to Chicago.
Yeah, and that was a crazy night in Chicago, but we're not talking about that right now. Everybody on that team either had their tie ripped off or their suit torn. So I was the fool to dress nice that day.
Pockets on dress shirts, I understand, were particularly targeted.
Steve Bedrosian was on a mission to make sure everybody's clothes were ruined.
2-2 to Ramirez. He's recovered from the foul tip.
Kyle Gibson, meanwhile, back here. One of the reasons things look so wonderful for Kyle. 75 pitches here in the 6th inning. That's great. 9 outs on 3 pitches or less. How many times have we talked about Kyle Gibson going 3-2, 3-2 on everybody? Tonight he's been so efficient.
Checked his swing. Did he go? No. Well, you're talking about the Kyle Gibson of the past. This year we've seen more of this than that in terms of being aggressive, and even with 2 strikes, going right after the hitters.
High for the game so far, 18 in the 5th, but 8 in the 4th. Those are good numbers for a starter.
Swing foul again. 3-2. 18 pitches in the 5th, due largely to the leadoff walk to Chisenhall. Since then, he's gotten 3 ground ball outs. Now a fly ball out off of Brantley. It's always good, regardless of what the lead is, to have Encarnacion come up with the bases empty. Just missed. Tried to clip the corner, and Gibson looks off in the distance like he thought he might have hit the corner, and it is a walk, and Encarnacion will come up with a man aboard.
Well, Kyle's got a point here. I think he deserves to be upset. Let's see. It's going to be a fastball up and in. That's where he wants to throw it. I mean, it's tough for an umpire to know that exact box. And Ramirez did a nice job of keeping his elbow in early. Don Baylor used to do that all the time, except that Don wouldn't move. He'd let the ball hit him when the ball was a strike.
Here's Encarnacion, homered against Gibson in Minnesota a couple weeks ago. Fouled away. Again, when Gibson pitched against the Indians at Target Field, he started the ball game with 4 perfect innings. Then Encarnacion hit a leadoff home run in the 5th. There was some control issues early in the 6th. Gibson came out of there, and Ryan Presley gave up another home run to Encarnacion, but the Twins won the ball game 7-5. 1 strike, and now a ball.
I'm going to throw something out there that might defy the way the game's played and the importance of that, but you just mentioned part of the reason his pitch count's where it is because he walked Lonnie Chisenhall. Now he walked Jose Ramirez with 1 out here in the 6th inning. But he's only has 1 strikeout, 3 walks in the game, and so everybody else 2 walks or 2 strikeouts.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yep. Both looking.
Yeah. You know, guys that strike out 8, 9 guys, that usually takes more than 3 pitches. You don't see a lot of 3-pitch strikeouts. So the pitch count climbs. Yeah, he gets a swing and miss. Sometimes it's important, but I don't think it's important for every hitter.
Swing and a miss there, 2-2.
And I really like what I'm seeing out of Kyle tonight, and the fact that 9 outs, 3 pitches or less. Get the boys off the field. You're saving your own arm. You're going to have bullets later in the game.
Two and 2 to Encarnacion. Squirted to the right side. Mauer will get the sure out. Sliding into second is Ramirez, 2 away. That'll bring up Kipnis. Are you game for a little excitement? Head to FoxSportsNorth.com. Submit a photo or message for the opportunity to be featured in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle during our broadcast and receive $100 in scratch tickets. With the Minnesota Lottery, every day is game day. Kipnis 0 for 2, a ground ball and a fly ball. Gibson's given up just 2 hits. He has issued 3 walks. No Cleveland base runner has touched third base, and he'd like to keep it that way. Check swing blocked by Garver. It's so frustrating to have games like the last 2 in Detroit where the Twins get not good, not solid starting pitching, but until Lance Lynn gave up the home run in the 7th. Great starting pitching.
Right.
And then you lose the ball.
Yeah, it was a tough one yesterday for sure. Odorizzi battled and gave the guys a chance, and they came back and won that game.
And yet you look at the way Gibson's pitched here tonight, and you know, lull yourself to sleep, or you get yourself to sleep at night thinking, look, if the starting pitching continues to be this good, this team can still get back to the 500 mark and above. Gibson has encouraged that notion here tonight so far. 2-0 to Kipnis. And now a strike, 2-1.
One thing I think we're seeing, and it happens at some point in most guys' career, but pitching staffs, you've got a couple new guys, some fresh blood, and I think we're seeing a friendly competition of trying to be the topper. Guy goes out
within the staff.
Yes, the guy goes out, pitches a good game. The next guy says, "Okay, your turn. Top that one." And I love the whole concept. I really do. I think we had that in '91 with Tapani and Erickson. You know, I've had it in Detroit with Dan Petrie and Wilcox, and certainly in Toronto. But I understand it. I think it's healthy. You know, you're not pulling against the guy. You're still pulling for him as a teammate. But you want to make sure everybody has a good day.
2-2. And was there ever a better competition within a rotation than what they had in Atlanta all those years?
Yeah.
Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine.
I promise you, those guys were all prideful guys, and they wanted to show the other guy that I'm better than you. At least today I am.
All right, pitch number 89 coming. Gibson trying to finish off the Indians here in the 6th. And it's struck down the line, foul. The hits, the only 2 hits Gibson has allowed, came consecutively after the second out in the 2nd inning. Chisenhall and Naquin.
He's really done a great job of mixing in his breaking ball. Hasn't thrown that many straight chains today, but this is a lineup that's really probably not conducive to that.
And he walked him, and a walk will fill first base and bring Gomes to the plate. The trouble that he's in here in the 6th is of his own doing with a pair of walks, 4 now in the ballgame. Gomes has struck out looking and hit a fly ball to left.
And that walk could have cost him an extra inning, quite honestly.
Irvin Alston on the phone, and he's getting somebody warmed up, and he will run to the mound.
Yeah, he's just going to give him a breather. You're going to let Kyle get Gomes anyway, but had he not walked Kipnis and got the out prior to the 90th pitch, he would have got another inning. And who knows what that could mean. Now, with the 6-run lead, you hope it doesn't cost him at all. But part of the reason Kyle does not have more than 1 win is he's left a lot of games with the lead And there's been 3-4 innings yet to get, and the bullpen has not done their part.
2 on, 2 out. Gomes at the plate. 11 for 26 in his career against Gibson. That's up the middle, through for a hit right between the legs of Gibson. And the Indians get on the board. Gomes tees off on the first pitch, and it's 6-1. And that'll bring up Chisenhall.
Leadoff walk again. We talk about it all the time. Kyle Gibson is a very, very good fielding pitcher, but not much you can do when the ball's hit. I have no idea what the exit velocity is. When it's at your toes, in between, as Bert would say, the wickets, not much you can do there.
Chisenhall, pretty good history against Gibson, and a single and a walk so far against him tonight. Chisenhall 9 hits, 26 at bats. Breaking ball over strike 1. First man to fire it up in the Twins bullpen, Taylor Rogers.
Kyle needs to get out of here. No more problems here. Finish this inning right here with this hitter. That helps.
Garver with an incredible block. He kept it not in the dirt, but close enough to home plate, so the runners couldn't advance. And Chisenhall swung at a pitch that might not have made it to the batter's box.
And it almost hits him. Almost hits his back foot. Bounced in front almost.
So now 0-2. This road trip has been pockmarked with a lot of 0-2 hits by the other guys. And Gibson finishes Chisenhall quickly with another breaking ball in the dirt. The Indians get 1 but leave 2.
Rosario, he hits a solo home run, puts the Twins on the board 1-0. And then the 4th inning with Logan Morrison aboard, Brian Dozier hits one into left field seats, and that puts the Twins up at the time 4-0. Kyle Gibson, 6 strong innings. He did allow a run with a couple of walks in the 6th, but he has been outstanding tonight, very efficient, and ended up with only giving up 3 hits so far. 1 run.
Otero will start the 7th inning for Cleveland, facing A-Ray Adrianza. The Twins got some news, or revealed some news today, regarding Jorge Polanco. Of course, can't join the club until he misses the first 80 games. Polanco caught his finger in a door and cut the back of his middle finger on his throwing hand, and that has set him back somewhat.
the anticipation is that he'll be able to continue shortly his baseball activity and still be eligible to be with the big league club on July 2nd. Now, that said, one of the hottest hitters for the Twins lately has been the guy at the plate. Adrianza has increased his batting average now to 254. He has a single and a line out here tonight, and he's looking more and more like a competent, accomplished major league hitter.
Well, this guy isn't exactly young. I mean, he has been around a while and played a lot in the major leagues, but he gets it.
One down.
It's always a good problem to have a bunch of guys that are playing.
Well, you can imagine a world after July 2nd where Polanco will go back to short. And then Escobar will get the bulk of the playing time at third base in Sano's absence. One down, and Adrianza says, yeah, that ball sunk. One down. Here's Lamar. Taken low, ball one. Lamar bounced into a double play in the third, struck out swinging in the fifth. Taken again, 2-0. Strike, 2-1. I think we need to start talking about Lamar and home runs. Went for a long time without a double, then he got 4 doubles in a row. He's yet to hit a big league home run. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Reminds me of a story of one of my old second basemen, Mickey Kelleher, first base coach for a long time with the Yankees.
Sure.
My teammate in Detroit for a while. Never had a home run in the big leagues. 500, 600 some plate appearances, a utility guy.
Kipnis snags it with the ball nearly rolling through the webbing. 2 down.
Anyway, I told Mick, I said, let's watch this catch again. Ball that kind of snow cone type catch for Kipnis. Has to go up and get it and ends up right at the tip of his glove, just out of another couple inches, and maybe Lamar would have got a hit.
Bauer at the plate with 2 down.
Anyway, I told Mickey Kelleher, I said, Mick, if you're ever on another team and game's not on the line, I'm going to throw you fastballs right down the middle. And I want you to come out of your shoes. I want to be the guy to give up your first major league home run. And the situation happened when he became an Angel a couple times. Warning track both times.
Is that right?
That's it. He had nothing.
As Eduardo Escobar would say, no pop. 4 ground balls to the right side for Mauer. And it's a 1-2-3-7 for Otero.
of 20 tickets to use during the season any way you choose, any combination. And the Flex plan gives you the flexibility to choose only the games you wish to attend, all the way up until the first pitch. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/flex. Kyle Gibson struggled a bit, faced 6 batters in the 6th inning, gave up a run. Now he'll face Naquin, Gonzalez, and Lindor. At least those are the 3 pitchers or hitters lined up to face him. No activity in the Twins pen as we begin the bottom of the 7th. Ball 1. Every team deals with injuries, and of course the Twins have had to deal with plenty of them. Driven to right, but right at Kepler. The Angels today put 4 players on the disabled list. They right now have 12 players on the disabled list. A couple of starting pitchers, Garrett Richards, Nick Tropiano, are on the disabled list now. Do you have a theory as to why baseball players are so, and I hate to use this term, but it's the most appropriate one I can think of, are so brittle these days?
I really don't. You know, pitching, you would think that the way they protect pitchers and, you know, all the knowledge that they have in the training and conditioning and really dietary things that nobody had a couple generations ago.
Nubbed off the end of the bat. Gibson. Plenty of time. 2 down.
Don't really have an explanation for it, but I can explain this. We're seeing a really good performance out of Kyle Gibson.
He's rebounded quickly here for a couple of quick outs in the 7th.
Maybe give him a chance to pitch into the 8th inning tonight. 98 pitches, no activity in the Twins pen. He gets another quick out here. You never know.
Well, obviously just 3 hits allowed, all of them singles, but he's done particularly well tonight against Lindor, Brantley, Ramirez, and Encarnacion. This Cleveland lineup is a bit top heavy in terms of run production. Those 4 guys, and those 4 guys have picked up 2 walks and no hits so far in the ball game. 1 strike. And now a ball. 32,637 the paid tonight. It's $1 a dog night, and they've got fireworks after the game.
100th pitch now coming from Kyle Gibson.
Down the middle of strike. 1 and 2.
Done a nice job of staying inside.
Not down the middle at all. Right on the corner. Check swing. Pitch in the dirt. 2 and 2. Trevor Hildenberger now getting loose.
102 heaves there for Kyle. Just finished strong. He's pitched a great ball game.
Popped up left side. Long run for Escobar. How's that for finishing strong? A little bit of a ragged 6th, then he comes back with a quick 1, 2, 3, 7th inning.
disaster for the Orioles to have signed Chris Davis to that long contract, and it will precipitate almost certainly the departure of Manny Machado, who's entering his prime, and one of the worst contracts in baseball history is really going to be something the Orioles are going to be saddled with for a long, long time.
Yeah, the ramifications of that contract and how they move forward. And, you know, they don't have that strong a minor league system. A lot of reasons to question a lot of the things that happen in Baltimore.
Eddie Rosario, the hitter, and Mike Tomlin, Josh Tomlin, is the pitcher. And there's ball 2. Tomlin really struggling. He's been a big part of the problem with the Cleveland bullpen, an ERA of over 7, 37 and 2/3 innings, and 18 home runs allowed. I mean, that's a home run every 2 innings.
I would say that if he was starting right now, he'd have a chance to break somebody's record.
He'd break it with just 100 innings thrown. Jeez. And it's a strike, 3-1, and he's facing Rosario, a guy who's hit 3 blistering line drives, one of them for a home run in the first, another for a double in the fourth, and then maybe the hardest hit ball all night long was caught by Lindor at short. Swing and a miss, 3-2. Big pop-up left side. Disappearing into the twilight, but Lindor is tracking it. 1 down. Got an interesting little dilemma here, Jack, as you get ready to take care of the legal component here. 7 innings in 2 hours. They got fireworks after the game, but it might not be dark enough to shoot off the fireworks.
We'll figure something out, right? This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
There's Escobar, a strikeout, a walk, and a single.
Yeah, it's still twilight here.
It's not a complaint, by the way.
No, it's a beautiful thing.
I stopped enjoying fireworks, even on the 4th of July. I stopped enjoying them somewhere in the late 90s when teams would schedule the fireworks shows when the Twins were in town, because the Twins were exactly a draw, shall we say, from the mid-90s through the late 90s. And it seemed like everywhere we went, they would schedule fireworks night when the Twins were in town. Subliminally, I got the message that fireworks meant bad things for the Minnesota
Well, I
Twins.
don't know if you're aware of this, but a couple years ago, Tom Hanneman and I were doing a post-game show with fireworks night at Target Field. And one of the fireworks came and it was still burning and landed about a foot from me on stage.
Really?
Yes, and it was very, very traumatic for both Tom and I.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we thought the world might be coming to an end. Hard to hear, by the way. That's the problem for us guys that are trying to do a post-game wrap when the fireworks go on.
3-2. Escobar swings and misses. And Tomlin has 2 outs here in the 8th. We'll bring up Logan Morrison.
Well, Tomlin's always had a pretty good breaking ball, and this is not a breaking ball. It's a fastball right down the middle.
There's Morrison. Had a great at bat and ended up with a single in the 2-run 6th inning. Also reached in a fielder's choice, hit the ball hard, and scored in the 3-run 4th inning. Outside, ball 1. Beanie Babies were another thing in the mid to late 90s. The Beanie Baby promotions around baseball were always, almost always, scheduled when the Twins were in town.
And how are you affected by the Beanie Babies?
Well, actually, I am kind of. Take a look at the swinging strike by Morrison. The Yankees scheduled Beanie Baby Day when the Twins were in New York, the day that David Wells pitched his perfect game. And I've been told
that those Beanie Babies from that game, because of the historic accomplishment, are worth a lot of money. And I've got one in my closet someplace.
I knew there had to be a story
If I
here.
retire early, it's going to be because
You've got a very
I've got a
expensive
very
Beanie Baby.
valuable Beanie Baby in my furnace room someplace. 1-2. And now 2-2. You'd think, wouldn't you, this would be a pretty favorable matchup for Morrison.
Yeah.
Guy's giving up a lot of home runs. Morrison looking to hit one. Two and two. From Tomlin to Morrison, and a ball lined softly, caught by the second baseman Kipnis, and Tomlin has one of his better innings, a 1-2-3-8. Dozier, but the story tonight, Kyle Gibson all but shutting down the Cleveland lineup here tonight.
Well, he was super sharp tonight. He matched Corey Kluber inning for inning until they got Kluber out of the game. He did his part by covering first base early. A lot of strikes, a lot of quick outs. 12 outs on 3 pitches or less tonight for Kyle. And you got to tip your hat. He did a heck of a job in a game that was really favored for the other guy on the mound.
Trevor Hildenberger will relieve Gibson. He hasn't given up a run in 4 weeks, covering 10 outings. And he delivers outside to Michael Brantley. Got a 5-run lead, and you want to do whatever you have to do to make sure that this is Brantley's last plate appearance of the night. He's leading off the 8th. And a strike, 1-1.
Well, always, you know, for all young kids, the first out is the most important, and strike one is always the most important pitch. But in these kind of games, it's so magnified to get that first out. Take the momentum away from the opposition and let them know that this is the Twins game to win. Don't give them hope. Jeff Nelson, my partner at MLB.com, always used to say, step on their neck. Might be a little severe, but
he's the big right-handed reliever, right?
Yep.
That guy.
Yep.
Okay. 2-2 from Hildenberger, Brantley, Ramirez, and Encarnacion in the Cleveland 8th. Driven to right. Kepler in a few steps, one down. Target Field's become a top choice for families in Twins territory, celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, bachelorette parties, family celebrations of all kinds. You can schedule your special event in a fully catered Target Field hospitality space, available for groups of 16 to 250 plus. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS.
Hildenberger had Brantley out in front just a little bit there. Brantley didn't have that real powerful bat speed because he was kind of feeling for that off speed pitch, and right there was Kepler.
Well, Hildenberger's been so valuable because he's shown no ill effect from finishing one inning and at least starting another. He's had, in this good stretch he's been on, a couple of 2-inning outings, 10 outings, no runs allowed, covering 12 1/3 innings.
I give him credit because he started out the season and it was not real easy for him, but he battled through it, and now all of a sudden he's really going through a good stretch. And he's not a max effort guy. He's a finesse guy. Drops down, shows you a couple different arm angles.
Driven hard to right field, and that's down for a hit. Ramirez will dig around first, on his way to second. Kepler's throw is on the bag, and he's out. Max Kepler throws out Ramirez from the right field corner.
A lot of things going right for the Twins tonight. Max Kepler couldn't have played that ricochet off the wall any better than he did. We'll get to see it again now. Ramirez hanging around. I imagine they're going to want to review it in the dugout on the Cleveland side. Well, let's take a look at it. The ball's going to be over the middle of the plate. You see that there, and Jose Ramirez, a very good hitter. But watch how Kepler plays this off the wall. Perfect setup for his throwing arm, and then throws a strike to Adrianza.
I don't think they'll overturn that. Second base umpire DJ Rayburn literally was right on top of it.
Well, plus the throw beat him. They're gonna take a look. Of course, Terry Francona has nothing to lose here without a challenge being made.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
maybe the right hand got in there. But again, as we've said, what we see here is, and what we think might happen, is no better than a toss of the coin based on what happens in New York. I don't know. Still a heck of a throw by Kepler. By a frame or two, I think he's safe, but we'll see how they rule it in New York.
So many times we think we see something and then it's ruled the other way, but I am still really delighted, even though it takes a few seconds. I'm delighted that they brought this rule into baseball to get it right, because it's so critical for both sides that they do. And an umpire, this is a great example of what I'm talking about. Umpires cannot tell when it's that close of a split second. They're going to make what their gut instinct tells them. And I think a lot of the older umpires that used to go by how does the throw beat you? The throw beat you was almost an automatic out. And now, you know, they're going to review it. I don't know how they're going to rule, but that's a tough one to call if you're the guy that actually has to do it in live time.
From the deep right field corner, a wonderful throw by Max Kepler. A little bit off the bag.
Yeah.
And Adrianza had to reach one way and put the tag on the other way.
Well, Larry did a nice job of that too, because you've got to really know exactly when that glove hand is going to intercept the baseball and then throw it at the hitter or at the base runner.
That's, you know, there's a cloud of dirt there, and it makes it hard from that angle to see when the fingers reach the bag. Out at second.
Wow.
The call stands.
Not happy here in Cleveland because their scoreboard showed what appeared to be the hand getting in a fraction of a second before, but it It is what it is.
And a great throw by Kepler. We've seen him display such an accurate arm. 2 down. And now Encarnacion, importantly, with the bases empty. Outside. He'll probably get the 3rd out. I hope he does before I can get your response. But the comp I've made with Hildenberger is a guy who was a closer here in Cleveland and a contemporary of yours, Doug Jones. You like that comparison or not?
Yeah, and Doug Jones also pitched for the Tigers, so I think there's some comparisons, sure. Hildenberger, for the most part, stays down. Now that one up on top. And maybe he's doing more of that this year. I think he should.
It's usually a 2-strike maneuver. Here he did it with 1 strike.
Yeah, I think he should do it. Think about the great pitchers that did that. Louis Tuyan comes to mind.
Right.
Different arm angles. When you don't have blow away stuff, you've got to be creative. And hitters get zoned into a certain spot where that baseball is going to come out of. And when it doesn't come out of there, they've got to make an adjustment too.
With the change of speed and the change of arm angle, Hildenberger has this weapon. He can make a hitter look pretty foolish, and hitters don't like to look foolish.
No, nobody does.
1 and 2. And time called. Check to swing, now 3 and 2. Kipnis on deck. 7 great innings by Gibson. And now Hildenberger trying to face just 3 in the 8th. Got him looking. And Encarnacion squawks. Or maybe that's the parrot. At any rate, 3-man bat in the 8th. Max Kepler on target from right field. By CenturyLink. Weird start time tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central. And the Twins knocked out Carlos Carrasco early in Minnesota a couple weeks ago, and Fernando Romero will make the start for the Twins. Pre-game show at 2:30 here on Fox Sports North. Tomlin out there to face Brian Dozier. And a first pitch strike. Dan Otero did a nice job in relief earlier, and now Tomlin trying to follow suit. And swing and no swing. 1-1. Last year the Twins dominated 3 of the teams in the American League Central. They won the season series with Chicago, Detroit, and
Kansas City. They stubbed their toe at home against Cleveland and lost the season series 7-12. Have a chance here if they can finish this game off to start this year's season series 5-2 against Cleveland. 3-1.
Well, they've played pretty well in Cleveland over the last couple of years.
Dozier takes a strike, full count. Kepler and Garver will follow.
It's kind of ironic, but Brian Dozier moved down to the 5th spot in the lineup in tonight's game, and yet this is the 2nd time on 4 at-bats that he's led off an inning.
Wrapped to 3rd, cut off by Ramirez, and across the diamond, and Dozier with the 2-run home run, and also the error on Lindor. He was given credit for a run batted in, so came into the game with 26 runs batted in, and he's picked up 3 out of the 5 hole. 1 down, and now Max Kepler. Kepler with a couple of ground balls and a fly ball to right. And Max has seen the batting average drop down to 226. Checked his swing, took a strike. Rogers warming up again for the 2nd time tonight. Kepler lifts it down the left field line, playable for Brantley. 2 away. Tomlin's done a nice job here eating up some innings and outs, with Corey Kluber throwing just 65 pitches and lasting 5 innings and giving him 4 earned runs. I'll be very interested to see or hear what Terry Francona has to say after the game regarding Kluber. 2 away, and now Garver. Garver 0 for 3. Right off the end of the bat, and that will continue to spin foul. Still remember years ago, I think 2nd year of Target Field, perhaps that long ago, Brian Dozier hit one like that at Target Field, and it kept spinning and spun back into fair territory, and Brian got an infield hit out of a ball that at one point was 5 feet foul.
Well, that's why you always run them out. And what we saw there is first baseman Eric Gonzalez letting it go all the way down to the first base bag because Mitch Garver didn't attempt to go down the line.
And a strike. 1 and 2.
A really good curveball from Josh Tomlin. That's a 12-6er right there.
And now Gonzalez will try to catch this pop-up. Just enough room. Tomlin enjoys a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings. In Minnesota a couple of weeks ago, the Twins lost the opener and then won 3 straight to win the series against the Indians. And here tonight they played awfully well. Got some big hits, home runs from Rosario and Dozier. Kyle Gibson with 7 good innings, a good 8th for the Twins. Trevor Hildenberger. Now Taylor Rogers will try to finish off a Twins win. And Rogers hasn't given up a run in his last 5 outings, totaling 5 2/3 innings. So his numbers coming back down to what they have been in his first 2 years. Kipnis, Gomes, and Chisenhall, a lefty, a righty, and a lefty facing Rogers. Fastball and strike 1.
You just brought up a point that I remember way back in my early days. Sparky Anderson told a young team that over the course of a season it all comes out in the wash. So don't worry the highs and lows of a young player, that if you're good, by the end of the year the numbers will be back where they've been. And Taylor Rogers starting to show some signs of improvement, and by the end of the year let's hope that he has those good numbers again.
This will be a good test for him with 2 veteran left-handed batters, because that's been the issue for Taylor. He's struggled with left-handed batters where he once dominated them. He's actually given up a higher batting average to lefties than righties this year. 0-2 and very high. Look at the numbers, and it's hard to figure. Last year Rogers gave up a 173 batting average to lefties, 75 at bats, only 13 hits. Breaking ball, lifted foul, and out of play.
Kipnis is the kind of hitter that's got a very quick bat. He's not really susceptible to anything if he's on it. Fastball, he can handle all speeds, you know, in the high 90s because of that quick bat.
1-2.
See if the breaking ball down and away will get him here. No,
it's a fastball fouled away.
Even Taylor Rogers is basically seeing the benefits of that fastball up out of the zone when he's ahead in the count. Different eye angles.
This one lifted to left. Rosario retreating, still going back, and on the edge of the track makes the catch, 1 away.
That all important leading lady, right?
Yep. We'll bring up Yan Gomes.
Slider, and he got it on the corner. Kipnis barreled it up pretty good for a ball in that location.
And now Gomes singled up the middle on the first pitch he saw from Kyle Gibson to put the Indians on the board back in the 6th inning. And then Gibson responded with a quick 1-2-3 7th inning. Fastball burns the outside corner at 94. Driven hard to center field. Lamar back, but it's gone. A home run. Gomes hitting his 9th of the year in the 6-2. And while Rogers has given up a lot of hits, that's just the 2nd home run he's given up in 26 innings.
Well, it's right in the wheelhouse of Yan Gomes, who hit the ball hard his last time up, base hit up the middle. And that one, he got it all.
And now Chisenhall is going to be pinch hit for. Brandon Geyer, just activated a couple days ago, will hit in Chisenhall's spot. Outside, ball 1. Chisenhall still doesn't get many opportunities against lefties. So Geyer off the bench will try to deliver a pinch hit. Outside 2-0. Fernando Rodney getting loose with the Indians striking on the Dome's home run. On the ground. What a pickup at third by Escobar. 2 away. Escobar falling backward is able to spear the first hop and throw him out.
He's always smiling, having fun at the game. He had to go down. They teach you in those balls that are really going to be in between hops, get as low as you can. You can always come up, and sometimes you don't want to put your body in front of a hard hit ball like that, but Escobar kind of almost kneels down, falling backwards so that he can keep his eye on the ball and then bring his glove up to the ball when it hops.
Can't get much lower than sitting on the dirt, can you?
Your eyes can.
Rajai Davis takes ball 1. Davis with 104 at bats. Ultimately, the Indians had to make a decision to keep Melky Cabrera or Davis. They decided to keep Davis. That's 2-0. For what he did in the World Series a couple of years ago, hitting the big game-tying home run in Game 7 against Chapman.
Well, as an everyday player, I always hoovered around the 50 stolen base every year, so got some value there too.
And now Rogers falls behind 3-0. Eric Gonzalez on deck. It's a 4-run lead, but the last thing Rogers wants to do, and he wouldn't be around to pitch to it anyway, is to roll the lineup over and have to face Lindor this inning. Down the middle of strike 3-1. Foul 3-2. Full count to Rajai Davis. Chopper over the mound. Dozier backhands, throws on the run, and Mauer can only knock it down. And the game will continue. Davis will get credit for an infield hit. Because Davis can still run well, Dozier knew he didn't have much time, and so he threw off balance, and it's an infield hit. And now Eric Gonzalez.
You know, it had been a perfect throw. Brian does everything he can. The ball's to the other side of second base, and he's got to get it and throw across his body. And he doesn't have that strong of arm anyway, but it had to be a perfect throw. And it was up the line a little bit. Joe Mauer being tested right there. Having to dive for a ball.
A little bit of a tumble. Here's Gonzalez, and if he reaches, it becomes a save opportunity, and Rodney would be brought in. So Rogers knows if he wants to finish the ball game, he needs to get Gonzalez. Twins aren't holding Davis on. He'll scamper to second base, but not on the first pitch. Strike 1. Got to go in this next one. He's looking right at Mauer, who's 30 feet off the bag. Now he goes. Driven to right. Got some carry. Kepler back. Off the wall. Davis will score. And the Indians are in business. And it's very likely the end of the night for Taylor Rogers. 2 outs. A pair of 2-out hits, and it's 6-3.
And now it is a save situation for Fernando Rodney. Max Kepler was not going to get to the wall quick enough to field it before it hit the wall. So he stops a little short. Ball takes a funny hop. There's no way they're going to get Rajay Davis, who was off and running. So it'll be up to Rodney.
Lindor, a switch hitter, will try to get the final out in a 6-3 ball game for the Twins. All the way in from the bullpen in right center field. And he's got a save situation, and he's done a really nice job for the Twins in that capacity. 14 out of 17. And no missed save opportunities since the disaster in New York. Rodney rode the bullpen card in the opener in Detroit, and I kidded him afterwards about tipping the driver. And he said, well, the series isn't over with yet. So he was hoping to get into a save situation in games 2 or 3, but it never happened.
I wonder if that driver came through the tunnel in the cart to get his tip, or if Rodney actually walked back out.
Eleven converted save opportunities in a row for Rodney, and he'd like to get number 12 here tonight. Lindor will try to extend the game, and if he does, then it would be Brantley representing the tying run. There are difficult saves, and then there are relatively easy ones, and Rodney hoping for an easy one here with Lindor. Down and away, ball 1.
Well, if Cleveland's going to come back to tie this game, 2 of the runs will have to be scored off of Rodney. So it's one of those situations where his save is in his own destiny too.
Fouled away. Now, statistically, this year, Lindor has been much better right-handed than left-handed. A spread of over 100 points coming into the game. But most of the power, of course, coming from this side of the plate because he's faced more right-handed pitching. 1-1 from Rodney. 1-2.
2 quick strikes. That's the way to come in and establish the ability to get ahead of the hitter, and now he needs 1 pitch to put him away and pick up the save and the win for the Twins.
So many dramatic wins here in recent years, a couple of them this year as well for the Indians. Very high at 93. 2-2. Change up, down and away.
That's his go-to pitch.
Got him. And the game ends. He threw a changeup down and in. Rodney, not going to call it an easy save, but a big one as the Twins win the opener here in Cleveland.
Take a look at that last pitch from Fernando Rodney. It's going to be a changeup. Garver sets down and away, but it was almost one of those balls that started out of the zone, came back in the zone, and he picks up another save for the Twins.
Well, Tom Hanneman, nothing but good news here. It's dark enough for the fireworks, and the Twins in 2 hours and 42 minutes beat the Indians and Corey Kluber here tonight.